Friends, have you ever dreamed of a life overflowing with blessings? Imagine waking up each day with a heart full of gratitude, knowing that every moment is a gift. Picture a life where joy is not just a fleeting emotion but a constant state of being. A life where your needs are met and your cup runneth over, spilling into the lives of those around you. A life where your needs are met and your cup runneth over. This isn't just a dream or a distant hope. It's a reality that can be experienced by each one of us. A life where abundance is not measured by the size of our bank accounts, but by the richness of our relationships, the depth of our love, and the strength of our faith. This isn't a fantasy. It's the very promise God makes to each of us. He promises a life filled with His blessings, a life where we are never alone, and where His presence is felt in every heartbeat. It's about finding joy in the simple moments like a child's laughter or a sunset's glow, and recognizing these as the true treasures of life. But here's the key. God's blessings aren't limited to our bank accounts. They are found in the laughter shared with friends, the comfort of a loved one's embrace, and the peace that comes from knowing we are loved unconditionally. His blessings are in the opportunities we have to grow, to learn, and to become the best versions of ourselves. His abundance encompasses every aspect of our lives. It's in the food on our tables, the roofs over our heads, and the beauty of the world around us. It's in the moments of quiet reflection and the times of joyous celebration. It's in the strength we find in times of trial and the hope that carries us through. When we talk about God's promise of wealth without limits, we're talking about a prosperity that runs deeper than material possessions. It's about a richness of spirit, a wealth of love, and a treasure trove of experiences that shape who we are. It's about living a life that is full, not just in terms of what we have, but in terms of who we are and how we live. It's about experiencing the fullness of His love, joy, peace, and purpose in every single day. It's about waking up with a sense of purpose, knowing that our lives have meaning and that we are part of something greater than ourselves. It's about finding joy in the journey and peace in the process. It's about living a life aligned with His will and being a vessel of His goodness. It's about sharing our blessings with others and making a positive impact in the world. It's about being a light in the darkness and a source of hope for those around us. This is the life God promises us, a life overflowing with His blessings, His love, and His grace. Too often we equate wealth with dollar signs and material possessions, but true wealth, the kind that God desires for us, goes far beyond that. It's about the riches we store up in heaven, not just here on earth. True wealth is found in our relationship with God. It's about the peace that surpasses understanding, the joy that comes from serving Him, and the love that binds us together as brothers and sisters in Christ. It's about the unshakable hope we have in His promises, knowing that He will never leave us nor forsake us. The Bible is filled with God's promises of abundance. These promises are not just about material wealth, but they encompass every aspect of our lives. They speak to our spiritual, emotional, and physical well-being. God's abundance is about living a life full of joy, peace, and purpose. It's about having more than enough to share with others and to make a positive impact in the world around us. From the Old Testament to the New Testament, God's heart is to bless His children. We see this in the stories of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, where God promises to make their descendants as numerous as the stars in the sky. In the New Testament, Jesus speaks of the abundant life He came to give us. This abundance is not just for a select few, but for all who believe and trust in Him. In Malachi chapter 3, verse 10, He says, "Bring the whole tithe into the storehouse, that there may be food in my house." This verse is a powerful reminder of God's provision and faithfulness. When we honor God with our tithes and offerings, He promises to meet our needs and bless us abundantly. It's a call to trust Him with our resources and to recognize that everything we have comes from Him. "Test me in this," says the Lord Almighty, "and see if I will not throw open the floodgates of heaven and pour out so much blessing that there will not be room enough to store it." This is one of the few places in the Bible where God invites us to test Him. He challenges us to trust Him and to see for ourselves the incredible blessings that come from living a life of faith and obedience. These aren't just empty words, friends. They are a testament to God's unchanging nature and his desire to bless his people. Throughout history, we see countless examples of God's faithfulness and provision. From the manna in the wilderness to the feeding of the 5,000, God's abundance is evident. He is the same yesterday, today, and forever, and his promises still hold true for us today. These are the very promises of God, and he is faithful to his word. When we meditate on his word and hold on to his promises, we are reminded of his goodness and faithfulness. It's in these moments of reflection that we find strength and encouragement to keep moving forward, knowing that God is with us and that he will never leave us nor forsake us. When we trust in him, when we put him first in our lives, he promises to pour out his blessings upon us in abundance. This doesn't mean that we won't face challenges or difficulties, but it means that we can have confidence in God's provision and care. His blessings may come in different forms: peace in the midst of chaos, strength in times of weakness, and joy in the face of sorrow. As we walk in faith and obedience, we can experience the fullness of God's abundance in every area of our lives. Now, it's important to remember that with God's blessings comes great responsibility. We are called to be good stewards of all that he has given us. Not just our finances, but our time, our talents, and our influence. Everything we have belongs to God, and we are simply caretakers of his resources. He entrusts us with these gifts so that we can use them for his glory and to bless others. Generosity, the heart of abundance. One of the most powerful ways we can experience God's abundance is by being generous with what he has given us. Proverbs chapter 11 verse 25 says, "A generous person will prosper. Whoever refreshes others will be refreshed." When we give freely and cheerfully, we unlock the floodgates of heaven. Our generosity becomes a seed that we sow, and God promises to multiply it back to us in ways we could never imagine. God's provision, a foundation of faith. Friends, we serve a God who provides. He provided manna from heaven for the Israelites in the wilderness, and he parted the Red Sea to deliver them from their enemies. There is no situation too big or too small that he cannot handle. When we face challenges in life, it's easy to become discouraged and lose sight of God's goodness. But it's in those moments that we need to hold on to his promises even tighter. He is our provider, our protector, and our ever-present help in times of need. Walking in faith, trusting in his promises. This journey of faith is not always easy, but it is always rewarding. Each step we take, guided by his promises, brings us closer to the fulfillment of his plans for our lives. The path may be uncertain, but his word is a lamp to our feet and a light to our path. Accessing God's blessings requires faith. It is through faith that we unlock the doors to his abundant grace and mercy. In moments of doubt, prayer becomes our strongest ally, connecting us to the divine and reminding us of his unwavering love and promises. We need to trust that he is who he says he is. The scriptures are filled with his promises, each one a testament to his faithfulness. As we immerse ourselves in his word, we find the strength and courage to face life's challenges, knowing that he is always with us, and that he will do what he says he will do. His promises are not just words, they are the foundation of our hope and the anchor of our souls. In times of uncertainty, we can look up to the heavens and be reminded of his greatness and his commitment to us. Hebrews 11:6 tells us, "And without faith it is impossible to please God, because anyone who comes to him must believe that he exists, and that he rewards those who earnestly seek him." This verse is a powerful reminder of the importance of faith in our relationship with God, because anyone who comes to him must believe that he exists. Our belief in his existence is the first step towards a deeper, more meaningful relationship with him. It is in this belief that we find the courage to kneel in prayer, to seek his guidance, and to trust in his divine plan, and that he rewards those who earnestly seek him. When we seek him with all our hearts, we open ourselves to his blessings. These rewards are not always material. Often they are the peace, joy, and strength that come from knowing we are loved and cared for by our Creator. Our faith activates God's power in our lives. It is through faith that we experience His miracles and witness His hand at work. Standing on the mountain peak, arms wide open, we can feel His presence and the power of His promises unfolding in our lives. When we step out in faith, we are taking a bold step towards the unknown, trusting that He will guide us. Each step, no matter how small, is a testament to our trust in His promises and His plan for our lives. Even when we don't see the full picture, we continue to move forward, knowing that He is with us. The fog may obscure our vision, but His light will always guide us through. Our journey is one of faith, hope, and trust in His divine plan. We demonstrate our trust in His plan and His provision. By holding on to our faith, we find peace in the midst of chaos, strength in times of weakness, and hope in moments of despair. Trusting in His promises, we walk confidently towards the future He has prepared for us. Redefining success. God's perspective. The world defines success by material possessions, status, and achievements. But God's definition of success is vastly different. True success is found in our obedience to Him, our love for others, and our impact on the kingdom. When we live our lives according to His will, we are successful in His eyes, regardless of our circumstances. Our focus shifts from seeking worldly gain to storing up treasures in heaven. Conclusion. Embracing a life of limitless blessing. Friends, God desires for us to live lives overflowing with His blessings. This abundance encompasses every aspect of our being: spiritual, emotional, relational, and yes, even material. But it all begins with our relationship with Him. When we put Him first, when we trust in His promises, and when we live generously and gratefully, we open ourselves up to the limitless possibilities He has in store for us. Let us embrace a life of true wealth, a life that reflects His love and